me. Welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be sharing the continuation of my Mounjaro journey. I am going to share how I'm doing, what's been happening in my life, and how I'm feeling about the end of the copay card coming up very soon, and also that I'm getting closer to goal. So first of all, where am I with my journey? I am on week 43 and I am very happy with my progress. I have been on the 15 milligram dose, which as we know is the highest dose, for 14 weeks. So I have been 14 weeks on 15 milligrams. In those 14 weeks, I have lost 12.5 pounds. So I am still averaging about a pound a week. Altogether, I've now lost 36.5 pounds. So 36.5 pounds over 43 weeks, which I am very, very happy with. I cannot complain at all. Where I am with my weight loss altogether is that I am about, I had a range for a goal in my head, and I am about 8 pounds away from the upper range of that goal, and the range was about 10 pounds. So I'm either 8 pounds away from goal or 18 pounds away from goal if I wanted to be at the lower end of the goal. I'm clearly not going to achieve that in the time of the copay card, so I will be looking at alternatives for after the card is finished. I'm still having no problem getting the 15 milligram, and I will be picking up another box, which will be my last box this week. I am probably going to request a refill the next month, just to see what the price comes in at. On the very off chance that they're going to still run the coupon and it will work for me. We know that that will only work if my insurance paid some towards it, but I'm hoping for, my insurance didn't pay anything towards it, but I'm hoping for an admin error that will indicate my insurance paid some towards it, and therefore my copay card will run out at the end of the year, but we'll see about that. I have had a look at the new copay card that's been released. I felt the way it was phrased, asking if you are type 2 diabetic, was a bit of a strange, indirect way of asking, and I think it leaves it open for people to actually approach their pharmacist and see if their pharmacist will work with them. I don't know what happens at the end on the pharmacist's side of things. I have seen conflicting reports. Some reports saying that the pharmacist definitely has to put in the diagnosis code for type 2 diabetes, and some saying that the pharmacist doesn't. Like everything else that's happened with Mounjaro and the copay card over the last year, there's conflicting information and people have conflicting experiences. So I've looked at the new copay card, but irrespective of the fact that it might be phrased a little bit weirdly, in my opinion anyway, I know what it means. We all know what it means. So it doesn't apply to me, and I will not be attempting to use the new copay card. My hope is on an admin error that will allow the current copay card to continue until the end of the year, which will just be perfect for me, but we'll see. As far as other options for me when I run out of the Mounjaro, I am looking at all of the other options, the same options that everybody else is looking at. I'm leaning towards going to a compound pharmacy, but I would have to start that process fairly soon if that's what I'm going to do, in order for me to get the prescription in time and for the medication to run smoothly from the Mounjaro that I'm taking now. Just a couple of wee little updates on what's happening in my life. Obviously, I am aware that I'm not doing updates as often as I used to when I first started this journey. I really enjoy making these videos, but it is hard to keep the momentum going when life is busy, and it has been busy the last month. My daughter came back from traveling around Europe. She had her college graduation, which was an amazing experience. I might actually just put in a little clip at this point, just a few seconds, to show you a moment from the graduation, from the commencement ceremony, because it's the first time I've ever been to anything like that. And then also my mum was visiting from the UK, so that's you know, that's why I've been busy, that's what's been happening, but I do hope to you know, add some more videos as time goes on. I'm not giving up on this by any means. So really that's kind of where I've reached with my journey. That is also what's been happening in my life. And then really the other thing that I mainly want to share is that I'm actually getting very nervous about the end of Mounjaro. If Mounjaro was taken away now and I could be guaranteed that I would stay where I am, then as far as I'm concerned, it's job done and there's a satisfied customer in me. I am extremely happy. However, I also have a very realistic perception of how diets work, and if it were to be taken away from me and I wasn't to have access to it or an alternative, then what will happen next? My children keep disturbing me. Well, children, they're young adults really. So if this video ends up being disjointed, apologies. I am going to be trying to edit it so it makes sense. And now I can't remember where I was when I paused the recording, but basically I think I was saying that if Mounjaro is suddenly no longer available, I'm very nervous about what happens next. When I say Mounjaro, I mean Mounjaro or an alternative. I am very nervous about what happens next. I have a realistic perception of how I am with weight gain. Yo-yo dieting is a real thing, and just because it's been, losing weight has been relatively easy with the help of the medication, doesn't mean to say that I'm not going to yo-yo on this. We do know statistically that that is likely to happen, and what I've found since I've been taking Mounjaro is that I do have good habits in place now. I am eating a lot less. I am being more active. I feel a lot better and with myself, and a lot more positive about my habits. But I know that if the hunger just comes back, that will go out the window. I know from experience of dieting before that I can keep the momentum going for a fairly decent amount of time. It's not a lack of ability or a lack of knowledge on how to do it. It's a lack of being able to sustain it. And for me, I find that if something happens in my life, then that will cause me to go on a wobble. That's the only way I can think to describe it. And suddenly all of the things I think that need to be aligned to be able to focus properly on your eating and your exercise, so not getting to bed at a decent time, or not having enough water intake, just eating everything that's in front of me, not making myself the healthy alternative, skipping breakfast rather than having something sort of small and with protein. It's very easy to let something slide. It's almost as if, to keep the momentum going, a lot of things have to be aligned, and you just take one thing out of that and there's a problem. And that is what I'm nervous about. I think I can come off the medication and I can do fine. I just don't think I can sustain it long term. I know myself better than that. I can think of many examples of where something might go wrong. Something stressful happens in your life. I mentioned in another video I went for a job interview. So let's say I start a new job. That's going to be stressful. My dad in the UK, actually he's in his 80s, and he's getting more and more frail. He had a fall this week and is in a lot of pain, and you know, I'm speaking to him on the phone every day, but if he ends up having to be hospitalized, maybe I'll be on a plane out there. You know, he's getting older, he's not getting younger. Sooner or later I'm going to end up having to have emergency visits back to the UK. So, you know, all it would take is something like that, and all of the things that need to be aligned are no longer aligned for me, and I lose it. It all goes wrong. I envy people who lose their appetite in times of stress, but that's not me, and that's why I'm here. That's how I got to be in this position. So really, I guess what I'm saying is I'm feeling extremely happy with where I'm at with my weight loss. I'm feeling positive that if I can get Mounjaro or an alternative, I'm going to have no problem reaching my goal, and I can even come off the medication and do well and keep the weight off for a certain amount of time. But it's not going to be forever for me, and I don't know how easy it is going to be to have access to Mounjaro or the equivalent ongoing. Even if I was to do, you know, say I hit a time of stress and I don't know, I want to go on it just for a few months, just a low dose, just to keep myself in check. You know, how easy is it going to be to do that? So that is my biggest concern. Things are going very well. I'm just concerned about the future. As I said, I think this video, by the time I get round to editing it, is going to be a bit disjointed. I kept getting disturbed while I was recording. But nonetheless, I'm going to see what I can do with the editing, and I'm going to put this video out there. And really, that's it from me. You know, my update is positive. I'm continuing with the weight loss. I'm 36.5 pounds down since I started on July 25th 2022, and I'm feeling positive. I'll pick up the last box of Mounjaro this week, and then we'll kind of see what happens. I'm looking at the alternatives so that I can carry on, and I will share what I do. Would love to hear how everybody's getting on. I know I'm not great these days at responding to the comments, but I promise you I read them and I appreciate them. And please, if you watch my videos, subscribe, like the video. It encourages me. I can't tell you how much. It really just gives me a boost, and it's a boost that I need. You know, that helps. But thank you for watching, and I will be sharing an update again soon. Bye.